he was one of the first guy in our corporate office. At the COVID times, when COVID hits and we were going through negative cash flow and we had to pay the checks for the rents and everything, the salary and all. So at that time, what he did, he switched company and went to a competitor and become a director there, taking all the leads along. He just not gone alone. He broke the entire team into half.
Welcome to Millionaire Mondays, the show where we bring you the stories of real Indian startups told by the entrepreneurs that built them. I'm Caleb Friesen, and on the show today, how Anubhav Dubey and his co-founder Anand Nayak took India's national beverage, chai, and used it to build a 500-plus location QSR chain called Chai Sutta Bar. Chai has been part of the Indian lifestyle for millennia, and a lot of people seem to think that the British brought tea culture to India, but that was just black tea. Indian kings as far back as 5,000 years ago were sipping other kinds of chai, brewed mixtures of spices and herbs to remain alert during courtly affairs long before the British stepped foot in this country. These earlier chais were usually caffeine-free, and some of them were even classified as Ayurvedic medicines. It was only in the 1830s that black tea, which today is consumed by a majority of Indians, was introduced by the British, who imported it from China and started growing it in Assam. Today, though, Indian chai has taken on a distinct life of its own. It's a delicious mixture of milk, sugar, and masalas, and an entire industry has evolved around it. You can find chaiwallahs at every railway station, bus stand, and market across the country, and many of them serve chai in cooler, small clay cups. Chai shops have become a national hangout spot where people can relax and socialize over a glass of their favorite drink. But historically, chai has always been a fragmented market. There wasn't one big dominant player controlling the chai QSR industry the way that Starbucks did with coffee in the United States. But what if there was? What would that company need to do to win the Indian chai market? Well, of course, the chai would need to be delicious, the business would need to be profitable and scalable, and also the chai would need to be affordable too. And this is where Chai Sutta Bar comes into the picture. Since 2016, Chai Sutta Bar has grown from a single location in Indore on an initial investment of 3 lakh rupees to more than 500 locations across 300 plus cities. They have a global presence now too, with 3 shops in Dubai and upcoming locations in Canada, the UK, and the United States, and they've done cumulative turnover totaling 150 crore rupees. Today, Anubhav and Anand want to open a franchise in every country on earth, but when they first started doing business together in their school days, the scope of their ambitions was quite a bit smaller than it is today.
So what we used to do is, yes, we used to buy the second-hand mobiles and used to show off to the, the boys and the girls in the school, and then used to sell them out on the, premium price. And whatever the small amount of money we get, the premium, we used to party with it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And a couple of things, it was just a fun. We didn't knew that we are making money and we are really doing business at that point of time. But we used to understand the people's psychology and what makes people happy. The customer retention and, upselling, cross-selling. That's what we understood.
Wow, that's fascinating. And what are we talking about in terms of money here? Like, how much were you selling these phones for?
Initially, I remember we bought a Samsung Tab. It was very new at that time and looks very fancy. It's that big. And we bought it for 19K and we sold it for 23. And 4,000 rupees for us at the school time was... I can't even explain the monetary term. It's huge for us at that time.
Were you in Indore at that time? Or was this actually in your hometown?
It was in Indore.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What did your parents think of this little side hustle that you had going on?
They didn't knew about it.
Okay.
See, in Indian society, people were very much clear and straightforward that you have to focus on your academics. Not even the co-curricular. And even the co-curricular were very much... straightforward that you have to play cricket. either you have to play volleyball or football. You cannot jump into the entrepreneurship. There was nothing like entrepreneurship in their mind. They were very much straightforward that you have to pursue these academics and you have to be very good in the subjects, and later on try for the civil services examination and fetch the government job and get married with a very good girl.
I think you were on track, right, to become an IAS officer?
Yeah, I was pursuing UPSC examination from coaching in Delhi, and I was really thinking to become an IAS officer, but let me tell you, it is one of the toughest examinations in the entire world with the least success ratio. And
Because there's so much competition, right?
yeah, so much competition, and you have to be very clear about the subjects. You cannot mug up. You have to be clear about the facts and the basic fundamentals of every subject you're going through. So it was really tough. We Indians are very densely populated there, therefore the competition with the numbers and with the intelligence as well.
So were you excited about that trajectory in your life? Did you think this would be a pretty good life? I could become an IAS officer, like you said, find a nice girl, settle down, or were you kind of like thinking of going in a different direction, even in like 2015, 2014?
See, there was a couple of options in my mind. We were puzzled in the teenagers. At that time, most of the students are puzzled what to pursue. Multiple options. You can see your peer mates also pursuing something which looks very fancy at that time. Might not be good at this time, but might look fancy at that time. For example, photography, which looked really, really fancy. Even it is a very good domain to pursue at this time. So, and number of things. I took commerce as a subject, and if you take commerce, so you have limited options. For example, to pursue CA, either you go for CA, CS, clear the CAT examination and go for the best schools in the world, best B schools in the world, IIMs. But I'm giving the podcast in English, but let me tell you, my English is very bad. My vocabulary is even worse than that. So
you're doing pretty good.
Thank you.
Don't worry.
But Cat didn't think so. So so I pursued the CAT as well. I went for the coaching to prepare the CAT examination to get the selection in the best B schools in India, but couldn't make it. Then CA, then went for the UPSC examination, couldn't make it because I left in between. Then after that, I switched to entrepreneurship.
Got it. Okay. So tell me about the beginnings of this entrepreneurial journey in a serious way, right? Before you were it was more of a hobby, flipping phones, which sounds like it was a lot of fun, but obviously doesn't have huge potential for scale. I think you had actually looked at McDonald's as sort of an inspiration, if I'm not wrong, right? You and your co-founder, Anand?
Yeah, McDonald's, not just McDonald's, but all the big giants in the F&B, those who were selling franchisee and running the multiple stores, McDonald's, Starbucks, and the other Domino's, all these big giants. So at the time of when I was preparing for UPSC examination, I got a call from Anand. He's the co-founder of the company and my best buddy from school. So at that time, he was doing business with his relative, and he wanted to switch. So he called me and he was really depressed, because of some emotional problem he was facing at that time. So what we Indians are very emotional. I'm not telling others are not, but we Indians are very much emotional. And when it comes to the friendship, we just jump into the event, whatever the event is, may it be cruel, may it be any of the happy events. So at that time, I just left the place, Delhi, where I was preparing, and I came back to Indore to rescue him from the problem. What is the problem? So he said, I was looking to switch this business and to start something new. And you promised me that. And I literally promised him when I was in school that we'll do business together once. So he said, now the time is, let's start something very interesting. So I asked him, oh, do you have any plans? So he said no. Then we sat couple of times and asked him, what do you really have plans? So he said, yes, I have plan. We'll sell chai. So
What did you think of that idea initially? Because I don't think being a chai, like selling chai, is not really like the most glamorous thing to do as a business, right?
not at all. But that is the only thing which, because we were failures, we failed couple of times. I failed multiple things, and Anand was also in the verge of shutting down the business. So we thought that the selling of tea is very easy, and this success ratio could be better than the others pursued domains. So we just hooked with the idea, and we thought, yes, we will sell tea. Now where and how and what will be the long vision, how we are going to achieve our goals from this?
Yeah, because I think it's easy to sell chai, but it might not be easy to make money from chai.
Exactly.
I think that's the difference, right?
Not money which we needed.
Exactly.
Money you can obviously earn money by selling tea, but not in the scale which we wanted. So
You guys kind of sat down and thought, let's think of a business plan here.
it was very swift planning. It was not a detailed plan. It's not like we sat with the paper and pen and a drawing board. It just we gone with the flow. It was like, just do it. Let's do it. We'll see later on how it is going to be. We'll take care of it. So Anand got 3 lakh rupees after the bifurcation of the business. So he got 3 lakh rupees. We started with that. And my father didn't knew about it.
Oh.
He had no idea that I left UPSC examination. I switched from Delhi to Indore. He had no idea.
He thought you're still in Delhi.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And he used to send me money, the regular expenditures. So it was really, really tough because the rentals are already paid in Delhi, and I was started living in Indore now. So it was very difficult to hide it from my father. And my father was very much stringent about this, that you are going for UPSC preparation and you dare not come back without clearing the examination.
How did you feel sort of defying his rules and expectations and doing something that was very, I mean, this is very disobedient behavior, right? I mean, you're doing something which part of you, your heart would feel like this is the right thing to do for my friend and also for my passion. But on the other side, you would be feeling like this is, I'm really doing something that's against my parents' wishes.
I was not sorry at all, but I was very much scared.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting
I
it.
was very much scared because, I always call this term, all the liberal family, there is a daddy, there is a father who's very liberal and very cool. But whereas in our society, we call him Bap.
What's Bap?
Bap is a father who's very strict. And, he conveys his emotion through his shoe. So that's what happened. And I was very much scared. But see, this was the only thing which I had left with. Because UPSC needs very much determination, discipline and consistency. And I was following none. So I understood eventually that it is not my cup of tea. Let's sell tea. So
You've practiced that in the mirror a couple of times. But no, I love this because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of Indian young sort of wannabe entrepreneurs, the courage that you had, right, to actually go and do something, pursue your own passion and say, you know what, this dream that my parents have for me is not going to work out and I want to do something for myself. I feel like just that step is literally the hardest part in a way, right? The business will happen. You just have to start. But just taking that step and leaving Delhi or whatever city it is for any young person watching this video, and doing your own thing, I think that's really a challenging step to take.
It is indeed. I mean, see, you getting money from your parents' side. They are paying for everything, for your education, for your... In Indian society, parents pay till wedding and even after wedding. So most of the child is living in the comfort zone almost all this time. So stepping out of the comfort zone is a task.
Yeah. And also, I think the thing that people don't look at because you're now successful is what if you failed, right? Now you've disobeyed your parents. You've basically destroyed all of the opportunities that you had on that safe, comfortable track. And you've pursued something that's very risky. Your parents would call it irresponsible, right? And fortunately now, your parents, I'm sure they're very happy that you made this decision. But if you had failed, this is what a lot of people would say, right? The naysayers, oh, no, he got lucky, or he did it, but I can't do it because if I fail, then my life will fall apart. But you had that same thought going through your head, I'm sure, that, if this fails, what's going to happen to me?
So I really learned this fact that unless until you try, you're not going to make it. So you have to try and you have to test and try to understand where you really placed. I mean, at what place you are good. So you have to keep trying unless until you make it. You have to take the calculated risk. It's not like you have to burn all the assets and all the capitals you have and all the opportunities you have. You just have to try swiftly, and you have to done the trial and error until and unless you make it.
Yeah.
It was very risky for me as well, but I was sure that what is the maximum thing a parent can do. But he can just use a shoe.
I was going to say, he can pick the shoe.
That is the only thing. But your parents never want a bad thing for his child. They always pray good and want good for his child. It's just they do not know what is good for his career. So you have to educate it, or else you have to prove it by doing trial and error.
Okay, so you guys have this 3 lakh rupees to play with, not much money to play with. What did you do? How did you actually, what was the first sort of step that you guys took to setting up your first location?
So we started hunting for a location because we were going for an offline setup. So the first need was to find out a location, a shop to open a cafe. So we found out a cafe near to a girls' hostel. So it was a breakthrough because we thought, and if we are able to fetch the girls crowd, and boys will automatically fall in.
Was this something that you saw someone else doing, or this was just an insight that you guys came up with?
And we never saw somebody doing it, but we know that how the society works. that is the attraction policy of the God, So it is something very natural, and we know it, and we have seen it. So it happened.
So you go to this PG, this hostel for girls, and you approach the people who are running it, and you say, hey, like, we're thinking to set up some chai place in your building. Are you okay with it? And they just said yes?
It was a cement go down there. And they were quite a rich landlord. And we asked for the shop there, and they said, we are ready to give, but on the premium. So we took it on the premium.
Okay. Because you're quite young at this point, right? You're 23, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. So they must have looked at you and said, like, are you serious? Like, you're
and we were 7-8 people went for the rent agreements, because all were the friends, and we didn't knew what to read in the rent agreement. So all had a partial knowledge of the rent agreement. So we all went and started reading the rent agreements by one. Everybody was confused, but we thought, let's go and sign it. So we started taking risk. We used to take risk. I don't know why, but touch wood that we took the risk.
Yeah, definitely. And then it all worked out.
Yes, it worked out.
So your rent, your security deposit, like how much of your money was already gone on that first day?
Oh my God. So we were facing the cash burn in the very initial days, because we had 3 lakh rupees, and for the student 3 lakh rupees was huge amount. But we didn't knew that for market it's not. Market needs more money. And for 3 lakh rupees, we thought how to do it. We have seen the amazing hoardings, and we dreamt of using that hoardings in our outlets, the all the glossy functional letters. So we thought of using that. But once we jumped in the market, we asked the rates of that hoarding that was even more than the amount which we had. So we we had nothing at that time. So we used a wooden cut and um, jot down our name, Chai Sutta Bar, with a watercolor in it, and hung on a roof.
It was like what, like a piece of wood?
Yes, a piece of wood.
Oh, okay.
And it was it I think we didn't even use that piece of wood for 1.5 months, but people started calling us with the gumnaam chaiwallah. Gumnaam means no name. There's no name tea shop. So we started this name. And
That's interesting that at first it was a no-name chai shop, and then you kind of came up with the name. What was the reason why you called it Chai Sutta Bar? Because sutta is like smoke, right?
yeah.
Was
So,
it because like at that time anyone could sort of smoke there as well?
yes, sutta means smoke, but it just rhymed, and we wanted to our TG were students from the very beginning, and we really wanted to grab the attention of these people. So we really thought that this word of name will definitely do what we want to do. And we, onto the contrary, we never sold out cigarette from our counters, never. And nor we allow anyone to smoke in our premises.
Oh, wow.
We do a anti-smoking campaign.
Wow.
But it's just a name.
Is
Just
there,
to inculcate the curiosity in the people's mind. What is this? Let's go and have a look. And once the customers step into your counter, then your work starts. Then you started doing your work, like selling your product and doing the retention game.
Yeah. Wow, that's really interesting. Is there any part of you that kind of now looking back, maybe you're like, oh, like, did we really should we have put that smoke word in the name, or,
It's a pain in the...
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. Sometimes even for me, like backstage with millionaires, I'm like, oh, like this name is hard to pronounce sometimes. People think we're saying millennials instead of millionaires.
Yeah.
You get stuck with your name.
Yes. But it helps in another way because it's a different.
True. And it does CSB as well. It really has a nice...
Sticks.
Yeah, it has a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get this first location set up. Seems like the strategy starts to work. It's a girls' hostel, so then the guys are coming over. Was that the strategy for the next 2 locations in Indore as well, setting up in PGs, or did you take a different approach?
We chose the PGs only, but the second outlet was not near to the girls' hostel. It was near to the boys' hostel itself. So the girls started coming. So our TG was students from the very beginning. So we were looking a shop near to the girls' hostel or the boys' hostels only. So that really helped, or a location where the young crowd hang out the most.
Okay. And in terms of the finances, it seems like you had kind of put everything that you had into that first location. So how were you able to recoup that initial investment and sort of like expand within the span of basically less than a year, right? In 2016, by the end of the year, you had 3 locations. So clearly you guys were doing something right that you were able to expand to multiple locations. Was it this strategy of sort of upselling to other foods on the menu, or had you not come up with that strategy yet?
So for the expansion purpose, what we do, we frankly speaking, we have not done any P&L and balance sheet and cash flow in the initial stage because we didn't knew about it. And we didn't knew how to manage it. We was not using any software to punch the sales and to understand the customers. We didn't had any data at the very beginning, but later on we understood. And once we entered the franchisee model from the second outlet, it was franchisee model, and it became very asset line model, because in the franchisee game you take money as a franchisee fees and then the royalty. You don't have to invest on the infrastructure. There where you save. And expansion is very easy if people are referring your product. And once people started liking your product, they started referring your product. And the referral lead generation is one of the best lead generation in the world. If somebody is going to refer you, for example, if your friend or your family person will refer you that Chai Sutta Bar is doing amazing, you can also take the franchisee of them. Bang on.
Especially in the Indian market where trust is such an important component.
Exactly.
So you expand using this franchise model, but at the same time, you guys are very new to this, right? Especially you, right? I think Anand had a little bit more business experience, but there's a lot of ways in which a franchised business can go wrong, especially when you're new to it and maybe someone takes advantage of you, right? They realize that you're inexperienced, you're young. Did anything like that happen, or were you guys pretty lucky in that first year?
It happened, and we were lucky in most, but it happened in few. So there were a few guys who took our franchisee, understood everything because we have, shared all the SOPs to them and all the fundas and the formulas to them, and they just after once they have set up and started their shop, they just changed the hoarding and put out their own name and started selling the franchisee. But in Indian society there is a term called karma. So if you do bad, it comes back to you. So we never did bad to anybody.
You guys didn't try to take them to court or anything?
We cannot do that because we were very bad in the legalities at that point of time.
And it costs money too.
Yeah, obviously. And we didn't have that money. So nor we had time. But I truly believe that rather than focusing on pulling somebody down, focus on throwing yourself up, because you cannot deviate your energy to the negativity. It's focus on your positive energy. So that was our values from the very beginning, and we learned from our mistakes and left the things to them and left the things to karma, and it happened with these people and those people.
Okay. 3 locations in Indore, 2016. 2017 was a pretty big year for you guys, though, because you expanded outside of Madhya Pradesh and actually set up your first location in Mumbai, if I'm not wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that go? And also, why was Mumbai the next city to expand to?
It was not just from our choice that we started to sell our chai and started to establish our outlets every freaking corner in the world. But it's just the leads. So leads came from Mumbai. So there was one family of Sarang Bhaiya and Sunny Bhaiya. They came to Indore for doing a party or a function, and they just passed from our shop, and they saw so much rush in front of our shop. They thought that there might be some stampage or some event going on. So they came to us and they asked us, we really want to take your franchisee to Mumbai. And we were very happy because Mumbai was very new to us, and we sort of scared with the Mumbai crowd, we were small towners, and Mumbai was a big opportunity, very much dense, and there are n number of startups, better than thousand restaurants, those who are doing better than us. We were really scared. And the first outlet which we opened in Mumbai was in a place where there were no shops, no open shop. There are all closed shutters, and there is only one shop, Chai Sutta Bar, in between. So we were that much scared. But from the very beginning, very first day, we started selling. Like, there was queues. There were multiple queues in the front of shop.
Heavy footfall in a popular QSR like Chai Sutta Bar's first Mumbai location are a sign that your restaurant business is sure to succeed. However, there is one unintended byproduct of the success which a lot of first-time restaurant owners overlook, and that's end-of-day reconciliation. The more orders your restaurant fulfills in a day, the taller that stack of paper receipts gets by the evening, and when your restaurant closes for the night, staff can sometimes end up spending hours reconciling each receipt with the software billing amounts to ensure that all of the sales for the day add up and there isn't anything missing. With this video's sponsor, Explorex, though, the arduous end-of-day reconciliation process is simplified to just a couple of minutes. Because they offer integrated POS and MPOS to track daily transactions and the financial health of your restaurant, reconciliation becomes a breeze for your staff, allowing them to focus on their jobs instead of having to worry about tallying up transactions after they've spent the entire day on their feet. This leads to happier, more productive employees and therefore more satisfied customers and ultimately better restaurant efficiency overall. If you want to learn more about Explorex and the streamlined reconciliation process that they offer through their operating system for restaurants called Bridge, then click on the link in the description down below. And now, on with the podcast. What is it about Chai Sutta Bar that gets people to line up like that? Because it seems like in Indore, the same thing was achieved. Then you brought it to Mumbai, same thing. There's a queue.
It's a caffeine at the cheapest rate.
I get it. People love chai, but like there's a number of chaiwallahs that you can buy chai from. Why Chai Sutta Bar? Is it the vibe? Is it the price? Is it the brand?
It's a combine of everything. It's the combination of product, which is, at its best quality, and price is very much competitive. As I told you, we started for rupees 7. Now it's 15, double the price, but still we are beating the inflation and fighting the inflation, I would say. And the vibe is very important for the youngsters. Apart from where they are going to socialize, not on the social networking. Even the Google had the offline stores now. So human needs the physical touch, and there where Chai Sutta Bar comes in.
It's almost like filling this need that I think where I'm from in Canada, we have Starbucks, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you want to go...
You have Tim Hortons more.
Yeah, you know it, it.
I know my competitors very well.
Yeah. Because, you guys are actually expanding to Canada. We'll get to that a little bit later on. That's great, though. But Tim Hortons and Starbucks, if you're a little bit more posh, right? It's a third space. So you can actually go there. You don't even need to order anything. You can just sit down, hang out with your friends. Eventually, you will try to order a donut or a coffee or whatever. Maybe a tea, right? But that's sort of like...
It's called social proof. When somebody sits in front of your shop, and people see there is a crowd, so they have something in their brain that what is this shop and why it is running so nicely. Let's go and check it out. And when they come to our counter, rest everything is done by our salesman in the front.
Yeah. I heard though that I thought this was a really interesting technique, especially in the early days. I think word of mouth marketing has been really important for you guys. But you and Anand actually took it to like the literal level of like you would walk around and like talk loudly about Chai Sutta Bar, hoping that people would like overhear you.
Yes.
Like, where did you come up with that?
It just...
and did it work?
It worked. We cannot do the impact analysis, but I really think it worked, because whenever you go and, talk about something to each other in a little higher tone, people have this interest to know what other people are talking. So yes, we did, and I don't know whether it worked or not, but I truly believe that it had worked.
People do, they sort of
yes,
either intentionally or unintentionally eavesdrop on people's conversations.
Yes, because I always think to myself, if two of them will talk, I will definitely going to listen if I don't have any work, and if there is a room and they will speak something which is very even. Chai Sutta Bar is a very different, and it's a suggestion, unsaid suggestion, and it's a referral sort of. Okay, let's go to Chai Sutta Bar. It's one of the happening place in the city now. It's recently opened. Let's go and have a look. There are beautiful girls all around. So that's what we used to do.
If I'm just sitting and I'm sort of reading a book or something and I hear you saying that, I'm gonna be like,
Chai Sutta Bar is an amazing place.
Yeah,
you should go there.
I'm like, what is he saying? What's that place? And then I pull out my phone.
Amazing place, amazing food. Everybody should go there. Let's go there right now. After the movie, we'll go there.
And then I go on my Google Maps and I'm like, where?
And you will check the reviews. And we had very amazing reviews.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was that just organic, or did you ask people to?
We asked the people, and it was not too much organic, to be very frank.
Oh, no?
I am very much rich with my friends. And I have hundreds of friends. So I asked everyone, and I made a group and asked everybody in the Facebook to rate my Chai Sutta Bar, and they have rated 5 stars. And even somebody rated 1 star, the averaging is not more less than 4.9 or 4.8. So that was the reason.
Oh, this is cool. So this is like inorganic growth hacks, basically. Were there any more of those like little sort of jugads, things that you were able to do to help accelerate the growth?
We have done multiple. I mean, for example, nowadays, for example, people are using digital platform to expand and market their product. So we always wanted to market our product in the creators domain, in the creators community, but the creator community are way more expensive what we thought. So we had this idea at the time of COVID. We reached out to a couple of creators, and these creators were charging hell lot of money. So I asked my team, just do one thing: go and start commenting on these creators. Call Anubhav Dubey sir. So they started commenting, call Anubhav Dubey sir, call Anubhav Dubey, multiple times. So the creator team had this curiosity: who is he?
And they read the comments.
Yeah,
they
and
do.
they read the comments and they reached out to us, and then it's our game.
Wow, that's amazing. You're sort of reversing the roles there. You're not reaching out to them, begging them for a spot on their content.
Yes.
They're reaching out to you.
Yes.
And that actually does totally change the dynamic. Even if maybe you end up paying them some money, I'm not sure if you did, but like the amount that you have to pay when they're the one reaching out to you, it completely
It is
changes.
quite negotiable then.
Yes, exactly. So sounds like the way that you guys were expanding, right, with this franchise-led model, it's sort of, it allows you to sort of be lean as a team, right? You don't need to, because you're not doing the company-owned approach, you don't need to have your own staff at every location. How did you go about building a team though? And I guess everyone was sitting out of Indore, right?
Lean but very fit team we need. Yes, we hired one guy at the very beginning with the name of Manoj. He was the one who worked his ass off. I mean, 18 hours a day. He was orphan guy who used to clean a dentist store, manage the queue. He was a queue manager at a dentist store. So we asked him to join us. So he joined, and he asked me. We were unable to pay him a salary of 2 months, and he was so good that he didn't took money for 2 months. But he asked me, what is my future? So I sort of promised him that you will get your home built even before I make mine, and it happened.
How did you feel making that promise though? Because that's now you have a lot of pressure on your shoulders, right?
I mean, I had the pressure, but I don't know. I had this confidence that we are going to do it, and if it happened, then only I'm going to make my house. So, touchwood, he owns a house now. He's very happy. Unfortunately, he's unable. He is going to step foot without his parents in this house, but I truly believe that they are blessing from somewhere, and he's really happy. And this is one case where we get the loyalty of our customer, our employee. And to the reverse of it, there's one more case where there was a guy who was brother to me. He was like brother to me. He was one of the best friends of my cousin. So he asked me to step into the business as a sales guy, and we permitted him. He was one of the first guy in our corporate office, and he knew everything because he was leading from the core team. At the COVID times, when COVID hits and we were going through negative cash flow, and we had to pay the checks for the rents and everything, the salary and all. So at that time, what he did, he switched company, and he not just switched company to another company, but went to a competitor and become a director there.
Oh,
taking all the leads along. It was a big, emotional setback for me as a person, because he was like a brother to me, and he just not gone alone. He broke the entire team into half.
Did he take some people with him too?
Yeah, and not just the people but the leads also. So he merged with that company and started doing it, and as I said, it's karma now. That company is in the verge of insolvency, and we left that part, and we never took any action legally that he stolen the leads and all. But we left that part and just focus on our goal again, and we restarted building it. We took it as a lesson that we have to make sure that whosoever comes in on our company, we have to make the due diligence and the legal compliances on paper.
Yeah, got to protect yourself.
Yes. So that was a lesson, and touchwood, we have all the, one of the best team I say in the world I have. I literally believe people work like some people work even after, even after the office timings, even after 7. Sometimes there is one guy called Rahul Manloi. I think he might be in touch with you. He works even after office time. The way also works after time. People really works with their heart, and I'm blessed to have these kinds of people around me.
Yeah, it's culture comes from the top. So, you mentioned though the pandemic. That was when this guy kind of left, and unfortunate situation. But just before the pandemic hit, I think there was a really cool moment where you guys decided to expand, not just to another state or another city, but outside of India to Dubai. Tell me that story. How did that happen? Why did you guys decide to make that? Like, that's a huge decision, right? And I feel like oversight over such a franchise location is going to be more challenging, but also very exciting to know that you guys have a footprint in another country.
Challenges are there in every city, India has such a big geographical boundaries. So every city has their own languages, culture, taste buds. So we didn't feel the difference when it comes, apart from the legalities and the incorporation of the company. I was the first one to stepping out of the country in my family. So it was a dream for me, Indian society is made in a way that you have certain goals, very fixed, and you inherit from the very beginning. That one is, you have to build your own house, you have to own a luxury car, you have to get married with a good girl, and you have to go a foreign trip with your own money. So that was the very first time when we were stepping out of the country, and Dubai was fascinating for us. It is one of the it is a place where most of the Indian lives. The Indians are very much in that country. We call it the cleanest city of India. we hail from Indore. It is the cleanest city of India, but laughingly we call it the cleanest city of India, Dubai, because there are so many Indians. And for us, it was very difficult to penetrate in the Dubai market because they are very much stringent.
Oh wow!
Very, very much stringent.
I thought it would have been easier because there's a lot of Indians, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis. They all love chai, right?
Yes. But as a product, it is very easy. But for as far as the operation is concerned, it is very difficult.
Oh wow! Tell me about some of those operational complexities.
My God! So Dubai works in the norms of FDA, Food and Drug Association of America, and even to chop a different kind of stuff, you have to own a different colored knife. You cannot use your hand to open the tap to wash your hand. You have to use your knee to push it. It was damn difficult. And even after getting trained, you have to retrain your employees from an agency which is government approved. You have to take the compliances done. You have to do the due diligence done. You have to follow each and every rules. One rule breaked and you are blacklisted from the Dubai government.
Oh wow!
It was that difficult.
How often do they do audits?
Quite often. quite often. My God, it is very damn difficult country, and the best part, it is good for the consumers, because um, because there is a boundaries, because not everybody can enter, because you cannot sell bad things. For example, we sell chai in kulhar. That kulhar is made of clay, so that was not allowed in the Dubai. See, so we took the we went to the laboratory and done the laboratory test, and came out clear, because they were asking about the lead contents in every unit. So it was damn difficult, brother. I can't tell you. But fortunately, we are able to do it. And we started in 14 January 2020, just before COVID. And now we have 3 outlets, and 4th is also coming.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we talk about the pandemic, because I think that's an interesting story in and of itself, but this sort of stringency, right? This high level of hygienic standards that they have in Dubai, I'm just curious to know your thoughts, because you said it's good for the consumer, right? Do you think it would be beneficial if India implemented similar standards for food and beverage locations in the country? It would be very disruptive, obviously.
It is very disruptive, and I don't know how it is going to be, because India is a huge market, and it's not just a high class premium restaurants, but the street vendors are also there. So I don't know how
It might put them out of business, right?
yeah, and in India, people are very much inclined towards jugaad, and everybody is able to do it. So somehow they are going to find the loopholes, and they are going to go away with the rules and regulations.
True.
But we Indians keep the hygiene as at most priority, at least at the place of food.
Okay, so 2020 pandemic hits. You have just expanded to Dubai. You're also growing in India, right? Things are going well for your business, and then COVID-19 happens. What kind of impact did that have on your business?
All the shops were closed, because food was one of the things which can spread the cross contamination very easily, and we have sort of kept our raw materials in our godowns, and they had the expiries, and almost all the foods which were very much perishable, they were expired. We have to throw it, and some we have distributed, because we didn't knew how long it is going to be, so we distributed it to the people, those who are in need. And we have to pay checks, as I told you, and it was damn difficult time, but somehow we jumped into the digital domain. Our shutter was closed, but our laptop were open, and we were working like 11 to 7, but during COVID we were working almost all the hours, because people are free. What they will do, they had different ideas. Let's do this. So we were on the call almost all the time, and we were exploring all the domains. So it was fun, it was pain, but it was a learning experience at the end.
Yeah, so you guys really did an incredible job with your social media. You went from, I believe your YouTube channel had around 26K subscribers pre-pandemic. Now you guys are at 2.6 lakh. I think your own personal Instagram, you're at something like 3 point something lakh. So you guys have sort of blown up, and you've built everything is sort of built around you as a personality, which I think is a smart move. How did you come up with that though? Why didn't you make content, for example, around the chai or around the brand? Why was it you?
I think story is even more easier than selling chai. So if somebody connects with you, it's easy to you are the one who's representing brand, right? And people get connected with the humans better than the things. So I think to connecting a human with me will be easy rather than connecting with the company. So that's what we thought, and we started doing the self branding, and it worked.
Was it a natural thing for you to do though, getting in front of the camera? Did you feel comfortable doing that, or and even getting up on stage too, right?
It was not around easy for me. I was very much stage shy person, because in my school days, my class teacher used to ask me to go in the stage and read the thought of the day. and I used to bunk because entire thought of the day is in the English, and my English is so weak even today. So I used to bunk, and stage fear was something which was haunting me since my childhood. But uh, it was difficult because I used to mug up. I have to say what I memorized. Now I have to say what I have done. So it's comparatively quite easy. So once you do something, it's easy to tell because you express what happened to you. And it's entire body language tells the story. And when you mug up, it's just your mouth. So for me, it became easy because we kept on doing and kept on telling our story, and people liked it. People applaud, people appreciated, people hugged, people messaged, people came traveled thousand kilometers to just to meet us. So it encouraged to go on stage and again,
Yeah, I'm sure that gives
and
you
it converted the leads as well.
the most important thing, the business. But yeah, I'm sure that also gives you a lot of confidence that, hey, we're on the right track here. And we have people who are supporting us. So much so that you decided not just to expand within India. I mean, you already did that experiment in Dubai before the pandemic, but you thought, let's keep doing that, right? So like you said, 3 locations in Dubai today. And I think you've also, it seems like you've sold territories, or you've sold licenses to franchise in the US, the UK,
And
Canada, my home country, which is very cool.
Yes.
Do let me know once you set up your first.
The first call is coming to you very, very soon.
Okay. Looking forward. Taking on Tim Hortons.
Yes.
And also, I think there's also, you have a location in Oman, is it? Or you sold the license for Oman?
We sold the license in Oman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about, I just think it's really inspiring and incredible that you guys, as a very organic Indian business, right? It's just, it was just you and Anand, and then your third co-founder, Rahul, as well. You guys just started this thing with 3 lakh rupees. And now you're going global. I mean, what would you say to young Indian entrepreneurs who aren't sure if they should actually expand outside of the country?
I would repeat the sentence what Jeff Bezos has to say. This is Indian time, and Indian entrepreneurs' time has just begun. It just begun, and whatever our seniors has done, we are learning from them, and whatever the juniors are coming with is something which we have to learn. So amazing time. Whatever the products we are making, it will be consumed in India because India is a huge market. But we Indian entrepreneurs have to keep one thing in mind, that whatever the products we are making, it has to be competitive enough in the global market. Because we are next to a neighbor to a country which is known as the manufacturer to the world, but we are becoming that. We are taking that label to our country now. So it's just the foreign countries, big companies which are coming to India, but there are companies which is building big in India itself. The
Exactly.
Indian companies which are going global. The way we take the name of Apple and Tesla in India, the UK and US people will be taking Indian companies' name, for example, Tata's name and the Reliance and the Adani's name in their country.
I look forward to that. So I've read some article somewhere where you said that the next big milestone, the thing that you guys are trying to accomplish right now, is setting up 1,500 stores. I think at the moment you have upwards of 500 stores across 300 cities. Mm-hmm. How long is it going to take you think, just ballpark, a couple of years maybe, to get to that milestone? And also, what are the things that might need to change in the business in order to enable that to happen?
So, see, we are not just focusing on the expansion, but we are focusing on the sustainability as well. And sustainability is the real game. And when it comes to the different market, we have to study the market. We have to do the proper R&D before opening our own store. So the R&D takes time. And how much time it will take, it cannot be said at this point of time. Every market is unique. And we have to go through everything, maybe rentals, maybe culture, people taste, but everything we have to go. There are thousands of parameters which we have to study before opening the shop. So it might take time, but I'm very much confident that this is a revolution which we started as a company. Earlier, it is the highest consumer beverages on the planet after water. So there's no such company who's selling just chai and known by their product chai. So Starbucks is known by the coffee, not by the chai. There's no company. Why not to make one? And not just a big company in India, but a company from India representing the global market. That's what we are looking for.
That was Anubhav Dubey, co-founder of Chai Sutta Bar. And by the way, even though Anubhav is actively expanding his business outside of India, he himself has no plans on using his newfound wealth to relocate to another country. One thing that I've noticed, that a trend that seems to be changing, is there was this concept of brain drain, right? Where a lot of the most intelligent, successful Indians would actually leave the country to go get jobs outside, right? Mainly to US, or they would go to UK, get a job in London. And you, as a successful entrepreneur who's built a business in India, for India, but now also for the rest of the world, you've seen other countries, right? You've gone to Dubai, you've gone to other places. Was there ever this sort of inclination that, hey, maybe I'm gonna build this business here in India, but then I'm gonna use the profits and sort of my income to go and move outside and build my life outside of India?
People might go to other country. They might live in one country, but my product can live in almost all the countries, representing me as a person, representing us as a company. So there's endless opportunities in India. There's big market in India. There might be some reason why people migrate. Might be valid reason, but I truly believe that, I don't know about the past, but this is the time of Indian entrepreneurs. Everybody is saying that, and we can feel that vibrations in India. People are earning good. The standard of living is really going high, and there's a phrase in Hindi when we sell our product. We say, जो भी चाय पिएगा हमारे देश की मिट्टी को चूमेगा, because we sell कुल्हड़. Yes. So it's the patriotism in Indian entrepreneurs, and we are not going to leave our country. We are going to work here, and we will make sure whatever the products we are making here will be consumed in all over the world.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to the podcast this week. I'm recovering from a bit of a viral fever, and so that's why my voice sounded a little bit different in this episode than it usually does, but I really appreciate you guys sticking with me through this episode, and I will see you in the next one.